After consummating his revenge, Orestes' chest felt great pain. To avenge the murder of his father, the great Agamemnon, he had become the executioner of his own mother, and her and Aeschylus' blood stained his hands. 3 sinister figures appeared behind Orestes. They were the Erinyes, also known as Furies, entities that punished the murderers of kin. The Furies were 3: Tisiphone, the punishment, Megaera, the grudge, and Alecto, the unnamed. They were goddesses of vengeance and had the underworld as their residence, where they spent their days punishing criminals. Orestes grew tormented by the Furies. Driven into a state of madness by the Erinyes, he fled Mycenae to the oracle at Delphi, seeking the help of the gods. Orestes had only the support of Pallades, prince of Phocis, who grew up beside Orestes while he was in exile, and to whom he promised the hand of Electra. Pallades, as a loyal friend, stood by Orestes in the most difficult periods. At the oracle of Delphi, facing the statue of the god Apollo, Orestes asked the shining deity for help. He considered the punishment unfair, and that his hands were not stained by the blood of innocents. Apollo appeared and said he would be by his side. Orestes had visited the oracle of Delphi as a teenager, being ordered to avenge the death of his father, cowardly murdered by his wife and lover. Apollo ordered Orestes to visit the city of Athens and the temple of its patron goddess, where he would find a courtroom set up to pass judgment, and Orestes set off with his friend toward Athens. The way to Attica was difficult. Orestes was still being persecuted by the Furies. In the face of such suffering, Apollo began to protect the prince of Mycenae, keeping the furious entities away. Orestes and Pylades finally reached their destination, the temple of the goddess Athena. Orestes knelt in front of the goddess's statue, saying that he was there at the behest of Apollo, the deity who had told him that Athena would provide a fair trial. Meanwhile, one of the Furies stated that, if justice was done, he would suffer eternally in Tartarus. Athena appeared and said that she would preside over Orestes' trial. The Erinyes would be the accusers, and Orestes would have the right to a thorough defense. Outside the city of Athens, on Mount Ares, the trial took place before the Athenian populace. Orestes had the god Apollo as his defense attorney, while the Erinyes hurled terrible words against the Mycenaean prince. The leader of the Erinyes took the floor and opened the accusation, saying that the case was simple. Orestes had confessed to the crime of matricide. With his own hands, he had killed the mother who had always loved him. The law of gods and men was clear on the heinous crime. Apollo took the floor and said that Orestes had killed his mother, but Clytemnestra was not innocent. She and her lover Aeschylus had partaken in the murder of the lofty Agamemnon, the man who restored the honor of all Greeks by punishing the Trojans. The god asserted that the act had not been thoughtless. The prince had second thoughts and queried the oracle at Delphi, where he was told that he would have to punish the murderers, and in doing so, Orestes proved to be deeply God-fearing. The jurors seemed divided as to Orestes' verdict. When the votes were counted, the result was a tie. Athena stood up and said, as president of the trial, she would split the vote. The goddess asserted that she had listened carefully to the defense and the prosecution. When Orestes killed Queen Clytemnestra, he did not kill his mother, but his father's murderer. For this reason, she considered him acquitted of the charge of unjustified murder. Orestes fell to his knees, relieved, now free of the burden of one of the worst crimes committed by a human being. Defeated, the Erinyes bellowed angrily, saying that the new gods had thrown into the rubbish all the traditions built up over millennia. Orestes thanked the people of Athens for promoting justice in their land. He also stated that, from that day forward, the people of Mycenae would never war against the people of Attica as long as he lived, and cursed would be his successors if they disregarded such a promise. Orestes and Pylades left Athens. To appease the goddess of vengeance, Athena ordered a temple to be built where the Erinyes would be revered as promoters of the god's justice.